Y'all not gonna believe this. Okay, so my last stream, I just did my last stream. I hope the same people who were listening come back. I want y'all to come back. I want y'all to come back. Those people who were listening to my last stream, I did a live stream, similar, similar, what do you call it? Similar thumbnail. Okay, here's part two. So I know on this particular app is for like local communities, right? So when you put it out there, it's out there. A lot of people get it. And I sent it far and wide. I didn't just, focus on my local. I sent it out to this whole broadcast to this whole area for all to see. This is why it is important. Listen, y'all, this is why it is important for people to communicate. Don't be isolated. Don't be isolated because guess what? When you're afraid to talk to your community and you're afraid to reach out and get opinions and get thoughts, that's what I asked for. I said thoughts. That's what I asked for. I asked for thoughts. I want feedback. I want to see where these people are because it is standards. It's absolute. Oh no! How did this cucumber get cracked? Well, a cucumber's a cucumber, isn't it? So that's what you do. You have to reach out to your community. You know, like when all that trash was everywhere, I could have just been like a lot of people, just roll by. It's not my problem. I don't care. But those community standards, they get lower and lower and lower when you do stuff like that. There's some communities, I swear to God. And the thing is, I can say safely that I was one who, called and said, hey, y'all, we got a problem. Let's clean up. I was one person. But there's no doubt in my mind that I was the first person in my community probably to see it because it had just happened. I had just went down the street and came back. But I guarantee you that there is a whole lot of people in my community who would have taken that on and said, hey, y'all, we need to clean up. I know for a fact there's a whole lot of people in my community that would have done the same thing had they seen it before I did. So I say that to say I have faith that there are people who have standards. And that's my only question. I want black people to think about standards. People who live around me, I want them to be processing standards. So, hey, what's up, Creative? Creative, did you see my last live by chance? 'Cause I got an update. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. You saw my last stream? It sounds like yes. You said I agree with you. Standards, yeah. So this is what I did. I put this shit out on the APB, right? On our local community, uh, what do you call it? Community app or whatever for this whole area. And I got, man, y'all, I'm gonna just keep it real. Boy, I think I got about 150 responses at this point. I guess I should read, y'all, but I'm scared to read it because I don't. It just basically says standards. This is what I saw at Publix. It's unacceptable. If you want to give money to somebody, please give it to charity, but do not give money to people who are, da 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 da. I knew the shit was a scam. I knew it because you're in our community for a reason. There's a reason why you don't look like you belong here. You came all the way over here for a reason. You're not in your community asking for nothing. And people got friends and they got family and it's all kind of shit. This ain't your first rodeo. I knew something wasn't right. It wasn't hidden right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't hidden right. I said, there's people like that. They'll collect 300, 500 from hardworking people. There's all kind of jobs out here. You are scamming. So many things happen. It's very interesting. So the first thing, I got 100 and about probably 150 responses. I don't post on there much unless I see a problem, usually with a business. And that's not maybe once a year. I may call for some help from the community about a business not doing something, maybe once a year. But other than that, I don't be on there a lot. But I'm known, but I'm not on there a lot. Some of them old people, they be on there all day long, just got a comment for everything. Not me. Not me. So anyway, out of 150 responses so far, I was like, damn. Because the first 60, out of the first 60, I would say it was 60 or 70 when I first looked, okay? Because it's been a while since I posted it. But the first 60 responses was a whole bunch of old fake ass Christians. You don't know the Lord. I bet you don't go to church, all this kind of shit. You can tell they just old, dried up women. sitting somewhere with nothing better to do. I ignore that because that's not what I'm talking about. I ain't asked nobody about no fucking religion. And I said clearly in there, if you have compassion and you want to give to somebody, please do that through a charity, a church, or a nonprofit. I'm recognizing that people have the need to do something to help someone. I recognize that. There's a place and a time. And the first 60, it was like very judgmental, like commentary. Oh, you don't have no bigger fish to fry. Why are you worried about that? If she playing music, what's the big deal? Somebody from New Orleans talking about, well, you really would hate New Orleans because we got people playing music and getting money all day. Bitch, this ain't New Orleans. Okay? This is a fucking outer suburb, inner suburb. This ain't New Orleans. This is an isolated community area. This ain't New Orleans. It ain't the same. Somebody from New York. We got bums all over here. Negro, this ain't New York. Stop it. Stop the comparisons, the stupid comparisons. Stop it. I already described the area. The area is nothing but houses in this one little shopping plaza area, non-commercial. We don't even have any churches out here. It's so many houses. There's not even churches. There's no room for a church to be built. So I described this area. Everybody knows the area who I'm talking about on this app. So these people are being silly. And I choose not to be annoyed because I say, that's what people do. I've seen it before. People virtue signal. You know what I mean? They want to show how giving they are. Somebody said, I live in X, Y, and Z neighborhood, and I'm going to go see if she's still up there so I can give her some of my money. Well, you know what? He got pie on his face. He got crow on his guy. He's eating crow right now. He got pie on his face and eating crow. So when you send this information out, people start responding. Guess what they said? He said, even high school kids be scamming, asking for donation money for their school for basketball. Every day it's a scam. Sneakers, plane tickets, taking advantage of compassionate people, kind people. Yeah. I learned not everyone deserves your kindness or for you to be nice to them. Not even family. Yeah. But the reality is, if somebody wants to earn something, that's different. Now, I'll tell you who I do give money to. It's not a scam. They got this thing called the Atlanta Water Boys. They call them the Atlanta Water Boys. And these young men, they sell water all day long, ice cold water. You pull up off of any interstate off of I-20, you're going to see some water boys. It's a nice little hustle. They charge $2. They buy the water wholesale. They keep it cold. They come up to your car. They hand you the water. You hand them $2. A lot of people hand them more. And since I've been here in Atlanta, if I see the water boys, if there's a gas station close by, I'll go in the gas station and I'll grab a 24 pack of water and take it back to them and get one water, cold water from them. You know what I'm saying? I'll do something like that. Those boys are hustling. They slinging that water. They're actually working. That ain't no scam. They're not telling lies. They are doing a commodity. They're trading one thing for another. I support the Atlanta water boys. Like 'em. I knew I should have put this thing on. I thought I did. I got do not. Why is it doing that? Can y'all hear me? I don't know if that took my sound out. Can y'all hear me? He says, I learned not everyone does. Yeah. Can y'all hear me? Or do I need to start this stream over? Okay, cool. I don't know how that call got through. I put do not disturb and it still got through. That's strange. That's weird. Anyway, what people said in the stream, they started laying down information. Oh yeah, that lady's a gypsy. That sounds like, 'cause I said she looks Mexican, and she stood out in our area. And somebody was like, "Why does it matter that she's Mexican?" I'm describing what she looks like, fool. And black people who are around here know that means she don't look like she belongs. She stands out. So clearly, we're not talking to you. People so silly. Responding, ain't nobody talking to you. This ain't your community. Be quiet. Be quiet. But they start talking between each other. Oh yeah, that lady's a gypsy. I've seen her before. Then somebody says, "Oh yeah, she's been with a guy who plays a violin." Then the two of them start laughing and saying they change the signs up on a regular basis. The lady starts describing the different signs and circumstances. So they basically got a campaign depending on what community they go into, I guess. So they pull out whatever sign they can. How was I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know? And then different people are throwing and adding in stuff. And they said that the guy has an electric violin. And they said that when him and her have been together before, where she'll be dancing and he will be singing and doing his violin. And she dances. And somebody said, "Oh yeah, that's the mom, the father and the daughter." I said, "Wow." So everybody else has been seeing, not everybody else, but other people have been seeing these people. And somebody said she'll be at Kroger, and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, she'll be at Walmart too." So she's got actually in live time. We watching the scam come together. So there's people who know her route where she goes around different communities. They calling it out in live time. Okay. They said that she recently created a sign saying she got a baby. Oh, they said she recently did that. Another person said the same lady, because they've seen her at Publix before, said, "I don't live at Publix. I don't know." So apparently she must have been going up there before. I did remember seeing a guy with the violin one time. And I think I went up to him and I was like, "This is weird, dude." And he was like, "Oh, my bad, sorry." And he went on about his business. I think he was over at Quick Trip. He wasn't at he was with that violin at Quick Trip. He wasn't at Publix with it. He was at Quick Trip. Why you playing a violin at the gas station? What the fuck? So long story short, they started telling who this lady is. She's a gypsy. She's not a Mexican. She looked like a Mexican though. She looked like a Mexican. And they saying she got different signs. And somebody else said, "Oh yeah, that father and daughter, talking about the violinist guy, they was laughing because they said he be trying to act like he's playing the violin, electric violin, live." And somebody was saying that he had a time when he had got excited because somebody handed him some money, and his music will like it's like a glitch. That violin he stops immediately when somebody got some money, and so you realize that he's not playing the violin at all. It's just the boom box is playing the music. He's pretending the violin. You can't make this shit up. I didn't know. They know because they gave him some money, and when he stopped, the music kept going. I got screenshots of this shit. It's funny. So everybody's weighing in, not everybody, but a lot of people are weighing in on the different versions of the scam. They telling different signs the lady got. One minute she got a baby, then the next minute they said her and the dad, they calling him the dad, the dude with the violin. Say, I didn't see him. I just saw her. They call him the dad and daughter team. Gypsies. Y'all hear me? Gypsies. What do we know about gypsies? Everybody in here is calling them gypsies, not me. So it's pie and egg on a lot of people's faces. All them people, "Oh, you gotta give because the good Lord said," and all that type of shit. No, no, you just a mark. You a fool. You went and got your black ass out here and worked like a dog and turn around and hand 20 and 40 and $100 to some people who scam regularly. They said they be over at, I don't know which Walmart, but they be at a Walmart. Somebody said that they said they be at Kroger. They said, "Oh yeah, she'd be over there at Kroger. Oh yeah, she'd be over at Walmart." This is a way of life. Going into the black community, pole mouthing, looking sad. There's a reason you came to my community because we ain't got no standards. My point is made today. You come to my community because we don't have no standards. You put anything on a sign, we believe it. We so busy trying to be good Negroes. Y'all feel me? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? So somebody posted and said that she had came over to them as they were walking by doing her music's rendition and said, I guess maybe in between a break or something, and she tried to pretend that she is a non-English speaker. Because when they said something about her, why does it Mexican matter or something? I made the comment. I said, I don't honestly know where she's from. She speaks perfect English. Person responds, "Oh yeah, she's a gypsy. She pretends to be a Mexican." She'll speak Spanish and keep saying ice and asking for money over and over again. She pretends to speak broken English and acts, I mean, broken Spanish, and acts like she cannot speak English because she looks like a Mexican. This is what they saying. I got the receipts. This is when you reach out to the community, the streets talk. I got the streets talking. So we have a bona fide scammer. I knew she came over here for some reason. I knew it. You came to the black community because we don't got no standard. If you take that bullshit over there to them white folks' neighborhood with a violin, a boom box, or whatever, a microphone, and you get to singing and shit in front of their neighborhood community shit, they gonna get the police on you. They gonna tell you to get the hell out of here. That's it. They got standards and order. And it is a violation of sound ordinances and public begging in DeKalb County. That's why they said they was gonna send the police. So my point is, black folks, you see how that go. People will come outside of your community and hustle your hardworking black ass. And this is the crazy thing. Not only did she pretend to somebody to be a Mexican speaking broken Spanish, right? She's speaking totally perfect English to me. I noted that. I said, I don't know who she is. She might not be a Mexican. I don't know. I said, what I do know is she spoke perfect English when she told me, I said, why are you coming to my community though? Why are you in my community? Why are you not in your community? I don't see you at the Mexican community. She said, I'm not Mexican. I said, but why are you in my community, not your community? I said, you don't live over here. Why you ain't doing this where you live? You embarrassed? You're not doing this in your community though. I said, oh, that's right. You homeless. You don't have nowhere to live. Never mind. She said, I'm not homeless. She said that with her chest. I'm not homeless. I said, oh. I said, but your sign says you homeless. Your sign says you homeless. Bitch got quiet then. Yeah, you forgot which sign because you got a series of signs that you pull out depending on the present company. That's what they said. Real Dim, I'm talking about I just discovered a hustler in my community. And all the good church ladies decide they want to hand me my ass and tell me that I don't know Christ because I'm telling the black community they need to have some standards and not allow this kind of shit. So anyway, make a long story short, how about that woman that I told y'all who had the son who who was giving this lady some money? I gave her that look. That sister looked like I gave her that look when I walked up, like this ain't it. She didn't say nothing to me. She had something she wanted to say, but she didn't say it to me. How about her ass shows up? She says, "Are you the lady who had the white SUV? Are you the lady who was accosting the homeless lady?" I thought that was just so pathetic. I was trying to give my son a teachable moment. I was trying to show him compassion. Baby, how about I wrote back to her? I said, I need you to read through this whole strand because the streets are talking. And I'm going to let you know right now that what you taught your son was that basically it's easier to hustle and scam people than it is to go and actually work a hard, honest day's work. That's what you taught him. I said, that lady don't have no respect for you that took your money. You standing up for her right now? She's not homeless. She told me she wasn't homeless. Matter of fact, there are people who are on this thread you read through. They're saying that she goes around. She does her rounds to different places. This is a lifestyle. She comes into the black community as a gypsy where we'll accept that type of shit. And she collects our money, our hard-earned black dollars. She comes here to do that. Yeah, that money that you gave her, when she took it out of your hand and looked you in your eye, it was a lie. She thinks you are marked. She thinks you some kind of simp with a tip. Seriously. I wrote that to her. I said, so the lesson, let that be a lesson. You tell me some. I wanted to make that a teachable moment. I said, well, let me help you get a teachable moment. When you see people who come outside of your community and they don't have a reason to be there, Luna, I'm coming. You do this every time I get on the phone. Stop it. I just came in there. Stop it. Every time I get on the phone, I get on here. You do that. It's the remote control. Is this? Is that? Chill out. So my point is this. I told her that's a teachable moment. This is your actual teachable moment to be discerning, to look at people with a second eye, an inquisitive, intuitive eye, when they come into your community? Are they meeting the standards? What are they doing there? Why are they doing it there? Ask some questions. Be concerned. Be a little discerning. Have some logic to yourself. That's important to do. I said, read through. You're going to read through and you're going to see this woman. You thought you were doing a good deed, but this woman literally is taking money out of your hand from your son, y'all's hard earned money, and putting it into her pocket. She's not homeless. She doesn't have a baby. She has multitudes of signs that she uses in different places. That's your teachable moment. And I told him on the stream, on the thread. I said, y'all, let this be a lesson to everybody. Before you go virtue signaling and talking about the church and how people need to be compassionate like Christ, before you do all that, you need to actually talk to the community, reach out to people, get a pulse of what's going on here. Why is this happening? And one of the things that was very interesting is somebody said, they said this is how the Kroger on Redan Road got ran down. I had several people who agreed with me. I'm gonna say that. But the first phase was a whole bunch of condemnation. You don't care about homeless people. You have no heart. Shame on you, May. That type of shit. The second flow of information started being people who actually are calling it. That ain't no Mexican. That's a gypsy. I know her. I know them people. They come to my Kroger. They have a different sign, different depending on where they at. She got a partner in crime. They've been doing this. They're scammers. Let the streets talk. The community told it. Y'all feel me? So all them people virtue signaling about how good Christians they are. Now they get to read about the scam. Especially the silly one talking about I'm gonna drive down there and be her backup dancer. You're talking about crazy, crazy. But the person who made the point about the Kroger at Redan, the Kroger at Redan got so ran down. Y'all, Redan, one of my good friends who graduated from uh, Howard University, aka one of my good friends, bougie bitch. She a single woman and got the nerve to have a housekeeper. Okay, bougie. Her area when she bought her home in the 80s was nice. That whole area was nice. Y'all, it's gone down bad. But she's at retirement. She retired 2 years ago. She's not going nowhere. She got to stand her ground. But that area has gotten bad. We have been able to keep the bad elements out for the most part because we keep the prices of the houses and stuff and rent. It's pretty high. It's pretty high. It's not easy to afford. Okay. Again, this ain't no bougie ass neighborhood. It's just that it's inner city. I mean, it's the inner suburbs of Atlanta. So it comes with a cost. Closer you are to the city. So we have been able to have a buffer zone of pricing to keep all that gentrification trash bullshit hood culture from coming this direction. It gets in a little bit, but not a lot, not too much. Now, if you go about 20 miles, no, 10, no, 20 miles, you go 20 miles out into Lithonia proper, that's where the hood boogers went. That's the area my friend lives. It's called Redan Road. Redan is fucking hood now. Used to then be like that. Used to be a nice area. They literally have ran down that Kroger. They literally have run down that whole area. When I see Readings, they be having sales. I go from Kroger to Kroger. I skip that one. I skip that shit. I don't want no parts of Redan. About 2 weeks ago, I went to Dollar General. They had a store closing. I asked the lady why y'all closing the store. She said corporate gave up on that location because the crime has gotten so bad. She said they robbing it blind, they stealing it blind. She said they had a shootout that was started outside at the barbershop and came in, and they had a shootout inside. Corporate pushed the button. Corporate said, "We're done. We're closing." And see, that's what happens, and that's what I'm trying to educate Black people. I don't know it all, but gentrification pushes a lot of people in places they really don't belong. They don't have the same standards and the same culture. And when you start having people who have a different standard and different culture, when they start coming and you don't put up some barriers and you don't reset the standards, right? Then shit starts getting ugly. It's going That's what somebody said. They said if they keep going at Publix in this area, they're gonna end up like Redan. I said, you ain't lying. You are not lying. If people don't hold their standards, and I can't be, ain't nobody gonna fault me because I've watched white people gentrify hood. I've watched white people gentrify whole areas where they call the police on anybody who walk up and down the street. Everybody's a fucking suspect. I've watched white people ask for precincts to be coming on every corner and high levels of patrol. I've seen them form neighborhood associations and force people to sell by bullying them with code enforcement. I have seen white people come in and take a crack infested neighborhood and turn that shit into pristine perfection, okay? I'm not promoting it. I'm just telling y'all, they be ruthless when they do it. I'm not ruthless. I'm not ruthless. All I'm saying is let's not lose the standards that we have. That's all I'm saying. I've been on that. I put my money behind it. That lawsuit that I had to fight for 6 years, it was about that standard. What we not gonna do is handle business like this. You're gonna have to come out of that HOA seat because the HOA is supposed to be functional, and you're not functional, and you won't go. I'm gonna have to sue to get you out that seat. I sued. I got him out that seat because it's got to be functional. You got to put your money where your mouth is if you want safety and you want a nice community. Black folks ran and raved. We need nice places to live. We need this. We need that. Are you prepared to protect it though? That's my question. Are you prepared to do the work it takes to protect your community, to keep it safe, to keep it clean, to keep the businesses up to par? So, y'all, that was a whole fucking journey. Posting it and letting people respond and get their feedback. So we found out that a lot of folks got pie on their face. They looking stupid, talking about Jesus and this and that. You hand your money to a scammer. The same one talking about, I'll rush out there right now and give them $100. You ain't hurting me. You got pie on your face now. You gonna give a scamming chick who came to scam, who been scamming scams around? You giving her your money? Now you look dumb. Now you look dumb. You thought you was doing something. You sound stupid. No discernment. No standards. No order. There's quite a lot of comments. I like music. Just dumb Negroes. Just dumb. What the hell you liking music got to do with this? I'll tell you another thing. Black people, we have a problem with food deserts. Okay? And what happens in the black community, I want to make this point real clear. What happens in the black community is you start letting stuff happen little bit by little bit. And I asked one lady who was uh very, very boisterous in her little commentary. She's very aggressive. I asked her, I said, okay, so you saying that there's nothing wrong with begging, it's a constitutional right, and she's not doing anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. You don't Nobody knows what somebody's going through. You got all of it. This is before I got all the information and wave two that she was a scammer, right? She said all of this stuff. So I'm going back and forth with this lady. And I asked her, I said, I have seen on 2 occasions, and y'all just between me and y'all, I didn't say this because they hate when you say something about race. It was two white women were very much out of place. These two white women had on outfits and looked like and clearly were. They do this prancing thing. I saw these two white women who were at our local gas station, loitering and hanging around. They were selling pussy. I know what I'm looking at. I'm not dumb. I wasn't born yesterday. I called the police on them. That was years ago. I set a standard. Now, had I not called the police and the police had not come, and they came pretty quickly because at that time it was a lot. I think it was during the 2020 when the George Floyd, they was really like on their shit. I actually sat there because I had time and I waited till the police came and I saw the police tell her to get the fuck on. Had I not done that, guess what? She'd have been regular. She'd have been selling pussy on Fridays and Saturdays on the weekend. That would have been the culture around here. So anytime I see some women who look like they might be, 'cause there's no loitering. If I see something look like prostitution, I'm calling the folks. We're not having it. We're not having it. I see begging, I'm calling it. We're not having it. Because there are places, and I'm gonna give you an example. like Memorial Drive. You allow little bullshit to come. You allow a couple of homeless to sit around. They make good money because these people got high income. Folks handing them, all these good church people handing them $100, handing them $50. They ain't going nowhere. Other bums say, "Damn, you cake down there. You go to the birds, boy. You can cake." That's what they do. They try to do that shit in Tucker, but Tucker half and half. I know they be calling the folks on there. Tucker is where my business is located. I know they be calling the folks. Matter of fact, Tucker is so DeKalb County is not friendly. They actually closing down all them hotels that have people who would have been homeless. They close that shit down in DeKalb. DeKalb is like, this ain't gonna be the spot that you run to when your ass can't handle life. This ain't it. That's DeKalb, not me. Because people want order, people want safety. And you get all these drug dealers and pimps and prostitutes and stuff. You start letting them flow freely, walk freely, bums and all this crazy stuff, drunks, drug addicts, crime, gangs. You let that shit slip little bit by little bit. First bum come, then it's a cycle of bums. Then the bums got to spread out because they can't all bum in the same spot, right? So they go to that little shopping plaza to the left and they go to the one to the right. Now, every door you go into to do business, you're confronted with a bum when you come out. Who wants to live like that? It's understood. It's culture around here. Every time you go into the beauty supply, that you got to be confronted by a bum. Who wants to live like that in the suburbs? Nobody. Nobody. That's why we moved out here. So that's how it starts. It starts with the bums. Then you get a couple of prostitutes. Now you got old JJ over there. He think he can hang out and loiter and bump the music, and there's no police presence. So then you end up with a shootout. Now all the old people are afraid. They don't want to be bothered with bums. They don't want to see prostitutes. They don't want to see crazy shit. They feel like it's danger. And now, guess what? People stop spending money. They stop going to the gas station. They stop going to the beauty supply. They start going outside of their community. They drive to where people have standards. Y'all following me? Y'all see how this works? See how that works? And then what they do is once they get and they start spending their money out there in other communities at those beauty supplies, at those gas stations, your gas station closes. Your beauty supply closes. Your Publix closes. No lie. I watched it happen from the time that I had came to Atlanta until 2018. There's a Kroger on Memorial Drive in North Deshaun Road. That Kroger was the Kroger that everybody in all them apartments over there on Memorial Drive went to. Everybody. That Kroger fed everybody on Memorial Drive. That Kroger had been putting up with so many incidents of begging, crying, no safety, people stealing, all kind of stuff. You start getting a culture where stealing is okay, bumming is okay, prostitution is okay. Little bit by little bit, the shit starts getting worse and worse and worse. It becomes a norm. Folks posting up with the loud music and shit like that, loitering, smoking weed publicly. People start shopping at other places, and your shit is gonna close. That Memorial Drive Kroger closed in 2018. It was so sad. It created a food desert, literally. There's no grocery store up and down a long way of Memorial Drive. It literally is still a desert. Nobody replaced it. Nobody. Kroger left. Publix didn't come. Walmart didn't come. Nobody came. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need to have a situation where we allow the environment to close our stores or people start feeling like they're not safe enough. These old people don't want to get out their car if they feel unsafe. I'm just saying, this is how it starts, little bit by little bit, little bit by little bit. And it gets worse, and then everybody's standards go down. The people who have really high standards, they get up and they move out completely. Okay? They move out completely. They sell their house and they go somewhere else. And then the people that are left, they just turn their head. I guess that's how it is now. I guess that's how it is now. I ain't gonna say nothing. Okay. Y'all keep not saying nothing. And you're going to find the deterioration of your community. Then those stores start closing because the sales is down. Because people travel to other communities where they keep standards, right? There's a lot of people like that. They'll tell you real quick, I go to Snellville to do my shopping. I go to so and so and get my gas. We don't need a food desert. This stuff is interconnected, but a lot of times I think that a lot of black folks, we so busy we don't have time to think about the trickle down effect. This is the first thing. Then the next shoe falls. Then the next shoe falls. See, white people think like that. I'm just being honest. I'm not worshiping whiteness. I'm just telling y'all, white people think like that. Everywhere I go, I want to see order. Everywhere I go, I want to see standards. Everywhere I go, I want to feel safe. Period, point blank. Anything that violates that, I'm addressing it. Unapologetic about it. And I'm encouraging black people to be unapologetic about it. I want order, I want standards, and I want safety and cleanliness everywhere I go. That's the standard around here. And I didn't think this would be a battle that I'd have to fight, but we got transient people coming through. And they're trying to change the culture. Half of those people that are commenting probably don't even own a house around here. I can look at the neighborhoods they came from. They're not even from this exact area. They might be in an apartment somewhere. Your opinion is irrelevant. You don't invest. You're not here long term. People who are temporary renters and shit, they don't care about a lot of stuff because they don't have to. When shit gets bad, they just pick up and leave. They go somewhere else. But when you own and you invest and you live in a neighborhood in a community, you want shit right. So that was very interesting to see how when you let the community have a conversation about standards, you end up full cycle finding out that somebody came to your community to hustle you. This is a professional scammer. That's what I found out. I didn't know, but that's what has been revealed. Too many people in the conversation had pieces and parts, and they all came together. You got a professional scammer who uses their otherness, playing Mexican and all these other things, pretending it's a baby over here that I'm trying to take care of over here, some homeless combination sign. They just pick a sign depending on the environment. To find that out, this is what I'm saying. Black people, we got to have standards, and if we can't, we got to separate. We can't be together because this is the insanity. So that's my point. I just wanted to share that because I thought that was really, really profound to watch in live time the exposure of the black community, how we'll simp and drag ourselves for the benefits of others, not keeping our own safety, security in mind. That's interesting. So those folks you know, who wrote comments, I bet they're gonna be start deleting them. They're gonna start deleting them. They're gonna start feeling silly. The more people, because I'm done with it. I said I came and did my mission to talk about the standards and let everybody talk. And the more people that pour in and say, "Oh yeah, she's a scammer. She's a scammer." Now y'all got to think about your self righteousness. You got to think about your self righteousness. I clearly said if you have compassion for people, put the money in a nonprofit or a church. So I addressed that. So basically, all of y'all that's saying that you'd have been boo boo the fool. That woman would take your money. And that's what I told that lady who was she happened to be there. That's the same black lady I was talking about. She weighed in. I told her, I said, that's your teachable moment. You handed your money to a scammer. She looked you in your eye, baby, knowing that she gonna add your hard-earned money that you put in your son's hand to give to her from this black community. She took that money and put it on her money clip with all the rest of y'all. Because this is a cycle of scamming. Let that be a lesson to you. We're going to learn today. They going to learn today. Anyway, I say, y'all have a good day.